Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. I'm Steve, and today we're going to talk about this KUBOTA B7100. So if you saw the last video, I picked this thing up about a week ago now, and I haven't done anything to it except put some fuel in it, and it's running great. I've had no issues with it. It does everything I want it to do, and it's the perfect size for my limited work area over here. So this video here, I just wanted to kind of go over what it looks like now, what I've seen, maybe a couple issues that I need to address, and a couple little things that I actually did add to it, but we'll go over that here in a second. But they made these things from 1976 until 1985, and by looking at the serial number on this one, you can find that on the left side of the transmission casing here. From what I see online, this one is a 1978 model, so it's a year newer than me, and you know, for a 47-year-old tractor, really doesn't look too bad. If I think of it, I'll add a picture in here of what it looked like when the owner that I bought it from bought it. I think he bought it 12 years ago in 2013, and it looked considerably different. He did take care of it fairly well mechanically, but obviously you can see the paint is completely faded and it's definitely seen better days. It's not going to win a beauty contest, that's for sure. So in that 12 to 13 year time frame that he owned it, it sat outside. So it got the full-on neglect of the sun and the rain and the snow and whatnot. So as always, Rusty Wrench Restorations, we will be restoring this tractor. This one isn't going to be a restoration to sell. It's just going to be for me to, I don't know, have it looking a little nicer. And really the biggest thing for me is knowing that it's mechanically sound to be able to do any work that I need it to do for me. So, you know, the small area and footprint that I have here for my shop, I need something that can maneuver well. If you've been watching the channel for a while, I've gone through and had a couple different skid steers. Those are really the best machine for, you know, turning around in a small radius, obviously. The problem is I need something with a loader to be able to pick up heavy stuff. So for an example, in that last video, we pulled the 3-cylinder Kubota diesel engine out of that other tractor, and that's a 400-pound engine. And well, I'm just not down for lifting up 400 pounds all the time. So that's when stuff like this comes in handy. The problem with a skid steer is when you're working by yourself, once you lift the object, now you're kind of trapped inside that cage. You can't get out to, you know, untie it or hook it up to something else because the loader is actually in front of your entrance and egress of the machine. So having a side exit tractor like this is a little bit better. The only drawback to it is obviously it's difficult to turn around in a small area here. So I have to exit my work area, but you know, I can't have it all, right? Eventually, maybe someday we'll have a better, bigger work area. And as you can see, a lot of stuff's been cleared out of here. This weekend I'll be going through replacing all this fencing. And I think I'm actually going to kind of close in part of the back of the work area here to get a better backdrop for you guys and kind of give me a workbench area and prevent some of the rain from coming in. That's down a completely different rabbit hole. Let's get back to the Kubota. All right, so like I said, it's a 1978 KUBOTA B7100. It's full-wheel drive, and it has a OEM Kubota loader for it. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. I have the manual for it. I'll add it in here on the screen in a second if I think of it. When I bought it, if you check back to the other video, I had a brush hog on the back. I have no use for it. I gave it to a friend of mine because I know he can at least get some work out of it. But I did want to have some weight in the back, because if you have or haven't operated a loader tractor before, when you start loading the bucket, it tends to get a little heavy in the front and light in the back, and can cause some loss of control or even tipping. So I got this weight box here. I'm not gonna lie, it's made by a company called Vevor or Vivor. I think there's a sticker on here somewhere. Maybe not. Anyway, it's kind of thin, it's kind of flimsy. It's not, you know, heavy built like some of your other ones. It does have some cool features though. There's a door in the back here that you can open up, and you can see all my John Deere crawler parts in there. That's my weight. But if you fill it with sand or rocks, it's easy to empty out. It also has a receiver adapter here, so you can put a trailer hitch on the back. And then it's got a couple pipes in here where you can stick your shovels or rakes. So again, I didn't want to deal with putting in rocks or sand because it's just a mess to have to deal with if you want to empty it out. And if I fill it with concrete, then that's kind of a one and done. So kind of did the best of both worlds and used it as part storage on my extra heavy John Deere crawler axles and rollers, and works perfect. So this tractor has a 400-pound lift capacity for the 3-point hitch, and I can almost guarantee you I've exceeded that with this, and it seems to be doing fine. It holds the pressure, it doesn't drop down, no issues there. The loader, on the other hand, is a little bit different. So this loader has a 500-pound lift capacity, which again, I believe it does very well all day long. I haven't had any issues with not being able to pick anything up. And like I said previously, this, I know it's shoved under all this junk here, that Kubota engine that we pulled out is 400 pounds, and it didn't blink an eye, so had no issues there. The one issue that I did run into is the hydraulics. So these two cylinders on the front control the roll and tilt for the bucket, and even when I don't have any weight on the bucket, they're leaking internally. There's no leaks anywhere. This thing doesn't, which is awesome because that's one of my pet peeves. But inside these cylinders, which we'll do a video on and rebuild, there's a basically like a piston with some seals internal. So it pressurizes one side to move the ram down to dump the bucket, and then it ports it to the other end over here to push the cylinder back up and roll the bucket back. Well, anyway, when it leaks internally past there, it starts putting oil on the side that you don't want it. So even with this tractor just sitting running, the bucket wants to just slowly start to roll to the dump position. So I was able to find Kubota rebuild kits. They're OEM for all 4 cylinders. Now they are the same kit. These bucket tilt roll cylinders are a little bit shorter than the loader lift arms, but the interior or the inside diameters are the same. So it's the same kit for all 4 of them. So I was able to get 4 kits. If I think of it, I'll put the part number up here, but I got them from Messick's, which I've never dealt with before, but I guess they're a pretty big company for Kubota parts. And you know, they had the parts I needed. I ordered them and they came within like 2 days. So good for Messick's so far. So while we're talking about the hydraulic system, this one here has the hydraulic pump, external mounted with a shaft to the crank of the engine. And here's your hydraulic hoses that go up to the loader control valve. Now, this loader control valve, the controls are very loose. And what do you expect? The thing's 47 years old, right? I found one company online that has a rebuild kit for these. And it's kind of odd because there's only 6 O-rings in here, but it shows like 15 in the drawing or the picture. So I can't really confirm that it's actually the right kit for this. So the best bet is either A, I disassemble this and take these spool pieces out, and I can just go to my local machine shop. They should be able to match them up, not a problem, and I can reassemble it. Or because of the fact that these controls are so loose and wore out, I might just get a new control valve. And from what I've seen online, people have been using a company called Chief, and this whole assembly is about 200 bucks. So it's only $100 more than this O-ring kit that they want. And I'll have all new controls. So this one's kind of unique as well. This is kind of like my John Deere 420. This vertical loader brace support is actually the hydraulic sump. So you can see down here, the pump that's at the front takes a suction from the bottom here, goes through the pump and returns it to the control valve. It goes to the loader functions and then returns back to the sump again. These hoses, as with every other piece of equipment I get, are in pretty bad shape. So those are going to be getting replaced as well. The good thing about this one is I think there's only 12. Let's see, there's 4 here. There's 4 here. And 4 on that side, yeah. So 12 hoses. Again, depending on the size, the thickness, the length can vary. But typically small hoses like that, I'm looking at about $15 to $20 a piece. So at some point, I'll go through and label those. My recommendation, as always, is to, you know, put a tag on here, A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever works for you, and take lots of photos. So the hydraulic shop I go to, when they build a new hose, they make it to the same spec, and then they zip tie it to the old hose. So I can take this new and old hose zip tied together back home, look at my photo for reference of where it goes on each end, and install it back in the same spot. Don't just remove all your hoses and figure it out later, because it won't work. Alright, so we've gone over some of the capacities and the hydraulic system. Like I said, it is four-wheel drive. It's pretty easy to put it in and out of four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. It's just this lever here. You have another lever here that's your high and low gear basically, and then your shift mechanism. So with the high and low, it will give you 6 forward and 2 reverse because it's a 3-speed transmission. It does have a manual diff lock. You've got the hand throttle up here as well as a foot throttle. The 2 brakes, left side and right side, right now they're pinned together. And then the clutch is over here on the left. This is kind of a neat feature here. This is the PTO control, and it's a 3-speed PTO. So it's got neutral in between 1, 2, and 3. So there's 5 positions. I'm not sure what the RPM ratings on those are because, well, I'm never going to use it. So I never looked into it. But you know, the hood's a little rough. You know, it's been dented and dinged up, and you can see someone put some filler in here at some point. So I doubt I'm going to be able to find a good used hood. I'll look around, but I think I'm just going to have to get up the slide hammers and blocks of wood and get it straightened out myself. So anyway, back over here, controls. It's got 1,329 hours on it. The hour meter does in fact work. I think the front headlights work, but these back ones don't. This one definitely doesn't. So I was able to find some new ones on eBay, so those are coming as well. So I'm just kind of in the parts gathering stage right here. Trying to get the seals for the hydraulic cylinders, the lights. I do have a new seat coming. This is not the right seat for it, though it does work. It's not the right one, so we'll be replacing that. And let's see, I'm not gonna turn it on now, but it does have a cool little horn function over here, and I'll insert a clip of what that sounds like. And because my kids think that that sounds like a clown car, is the reason that we have named this Bozo. The Bozo is the new name for this tractor. One other kind of neat little feature on this thing is over here on the left side. It's got a door. It says toolkit on there. The only problem is looks like it's turned into a mouse condominium. We'll have to get that cleaned out. So they made 3 versions of this tractor. They're all the B7100, but there's the B7100E as an Echo, which is the 2-wheel drive version. There's the B7100D, which is this version, it's the 4-wheel drive. And then there's the B7100 HST, which is the hydrostatic version. So it's got a hydrostatic transmission instead of the clutch and shifter. So onto the power plant. It's a 3-cylinder KUBOTA diesel. It's a 750D. That's just the model number for it, and the D designating that it's diesel. And it's a pretty decent power plant. They've used this thing for decades. In fact, again, it's the same engine that's under that pile that came in the newer Kubota mower that we pulled the engine from, so I'll always have a spare. The previous owner did replace the radiator, so it's got a new radiator, hoses, and I think a temp sensor here. So we're good on that front. It's got a newer battery from 2023, so I think we can leave that alone. I believe it is a 16 horsepower engine, and it's rated for 13 PTO horsepower. So not a big powerhouse by any means, but just because of the gear drive and four-wheel drive, it can do amazing things. So I guess I can't really do a video about this tractor without at least starting it so you can hear it. And of course, the infamous Bozo horn. But one thing that's kind of neat about this has a glow plug controller. And all it is a little hole, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. I'm going to zoom in here. When I turn this key to the preheat position, which engages the glow plugs, well, I shouldn't say engages, energizes, it's sending electrical current to the glow plugs to heat the cylinder. Now inside that black hole, hopefully you'll be able to see it here, there's basically just a little metal coil. And as that coil also is energized, it starts to get hot and starts to glow. I can just start to see it now. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Let me get a little better view on here and see if... Let me zoom in a bit. You see the little red coil inside there. Anyway, that lets you know your glow plugs are energized and you're ready to go. To press the clutch. Starts right up. Starts good, runs good. Like I said, my two pet peeves are tires that leak and go flat, which this does not, and leaks and drips, which this also does not. Already good in my book. So if you look down there, I did lie. I got a set of clamp-on forks for the front of it to go with the weight box here. So just makes it a little bit easier to move things around. I got one of those cool polycarbonate pallets over there. I don't have to worry about a wood pallet busting up, but works good for the front here, moving parts around, and we're pretty good. I am going to do a video coming up. These rear wheels are on the outside setting. There is a, let's see, I can probably zoom in on that other side a little better. So it's kind of crazy how these hubs are. They're like a hexagon shaped hub, and or axle I should say. Let me get in here a little better. There we go. So the axle is a hexagon shape, and the hub slides on, and you can see there's a pin that goes through the hub and the axle, and then on the top right there's a bolt that kind of just squeezes and squishes it together to hold it in place. So I have seen online that those are problematic, and I've noticed it on here as well. You can see it actually starts to wallow out the inside of the hub a little bit. So I'm not going to see much play here, I guess. I'll see it when we jack it up in the other video, but when I go from forward to reverse, you can feel it kind of shift in there. So that's a no bueno. That's no good. So I got online, Hamilton Bob's, who is a non-sponsor or anything, but another website that I use for getting my Cub Cadet parts, and he sold a brand new set of hubs for these that have a little bit different design. Instead of that bolt kind of just squeezing together, it's got some like little cam lobes inside. It'll come up in a video coming up. We'll switch those out, but I'm definitely going to change those to get rid of that wheel slop, and I think I'm going to move the wheels back to the narrow setting, because in this configuration, well, once I move those wheels in, I'll be able to get through my back gate into my backyard. So that'll help me move some firewood or mulch or anything I need to get back there. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you all like Bozo. I think I might do a little fun game. I'm going to save an audio clip of the horn, the little meep meep. And anytime I say Bozo in my future videos, if I think of it, I'm getting kind of forgetful of my age, but anytime I say Bozo, I'm going to put that sound clip in and you hear the little meep meep sound. So just something fun. But anyway, I'm super thrilled to have this thing. The week that I've had it, it's done amazing things for me already, and can't wait to get it looking a little more aesthetically pleasing, because, well, that's what we do around here. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Stand by. There's going to be a whole playlist of videos on the Kubota B7100. So if you own one of those or you're thinking about getting one, make sure you check that playlist. We'll do filters, fluids, the hubs, rebuilding the hydraulic cylinders, pretty much all the preventive maintenance and anything that comes up over the course of time. So anyway, thanks again. We'll catch you in the next one.